So this question looks like it is a translate word problem question. We say that just given the sheer length of the question, really anything 3, 4 lines or more long, I'm going to think about using this strategy, translate word problem, and it's more of a behavior than a strategy. It just means that I don't want to read the entire passage, right? I don't want to read from start to finish. I'd prefer to read actively and to write down any quantitative information as I read it, and to kind of pay attention to any of like reading between the lines, right? Anything that maybe is not said directly, but that I can figure out based upon what is said in the passage as I go, instead of waiting to the end and then going back to find that information. So here the question says, a bus traveled on the highway and on local roads to complete a trip of 160 miles. So I'm going to write, 160 miles equals highway and local roads. Next sentence, the trip took 4 hours. Okay, so 4 hours. So we know that we've gone 160 miles in 4 hours, which tells me I can figure out kind of the average mile per hour. And let's just do that. So 160 over 4 is equal to 40 mph. There is our average miles per hour. The bus traveled at an average speed of 55 miles per hour on the highway and an average speed of 25 miles per hour on the local roads. Okay, so I'm going to just say highway is 55 mph and local roads, which I'll call LR, is 25 mph. Next sentence, if X is the time in hours the bus traveled on the highway. Okay, so then X is time. I'll just put like time here. That goes with highway. And Y is the time in hours it traveled on local roads. So Y goes under time for local roads. Which system of equations represents this situation? Okay, so now I need to put all this stuff together. So let's start with time, since that's the last thing we wrote down. I know that time on highway is X. I know that time on local roads is Y. And if you remember, we also knew that the trip took 4 hours, right? And the bus was only driving on highway and local roads. So those 4 hours must have come from a combination of X and Y. So I have an equation here. I have a translation. And that is that X plus Y equals 4. We know that has to be true. And I like to stop and look at my answer choices and see, is there anything that I can cross out simply based upon that understanding? And there is. Choice A says X plus Y equals 160. Well, that's not true. We know that X plus Y equals 4. Choice B has the X plus Y equals 4, so that's good. Choice C also says X plus Y equals 160, so that's out. And choice D has the X plus Y equals 4 that we want. Then I continue reading. The travel on highway and Y is time, the hours. It traveled on local roads. Which system of equations represented this situation? Okay, so what do we have left? We have this 25 and 55 situation. So we know that 55 goes with the X and 25 goes with Y. So I should have something that reflects that in my answer. So looking at choice B, which is the first answer choice not crossed out, I do have 55X. And I do have 25Y, and I do have 160. Well, what's a 160 again? 160 was a total. Okay, so I see. So 55 times X should give me the number of miles on the highway, right? 55 miles per hour times X hours would cancel out the unit of hours and leave us with only miles. So that works. And even without going through the length of confirming all of that, B must be the correct answer, because you know what D does incorrectly is that it associates 25 with X. But 25 was part of the local roads information, and it's associated with Y, not with X. So that's why D is gone. So again, even without going through fully understanding absolutely everything, the translation here helps me to get enough information that I can pair that information together, right? X plus Y is 4. Pairing together, 55 goes with X, 25 goes with Y. That's simply enough to get to our answer here. So choice B is the correct answer.